Hi, I'm Roz Jovanovich. I'm a citizen of Munster. House Bill 1144 is very concerning to many citizens in Munster and Lake County. We're here to talk about that bill today and what is wrong with it. First, we'd like to talk about property taxes. Local property taxes typically go to our schools, they fund fire, they fund critical services. Let's review how are local taxes spent now. On average, 41% of local property taxes go to fund schools in Indiana. Local income taxes go to fund important services like public safety and other economic development. They also provide property tax relief. What will change with HB 1144? Well, future tax increases in TDD districts will go to the RDA. They will not go to your local government. And these funds will be used to develop property around train stations and bus stops. Well, what's the big deal? Districts can be very large. Currently, the bill reads districts can be 1 square mile. Districts can be placed around both train and bus stops. Districts can include existing high-value property like Target, Jewel, Strack, and vacant land with good development potential. Just one example, 20% of Munster could be included in this tax scheme. Well, who decides? Who decides what land is included? The RDA decides. They decide the district boundaries. They decide what development to fund. The RDA decides what percentage of the increment to take. Initially, it will be 100%, but ultimately they decide. The RDA gets unused money in the fund after project's expenses and bond payments are over. Also, don't forget, the RDA has condemnation power. That means they can take private property for public benefit. So the RDA gets our local property and local income tax increments. But that's a really small amount, right? Well, not forever. Here's a simple hypothetical example of a district where the increment becomes very meaningful over time. Assume your town has $1.4 billion in assessed value, and 20% of your value is in a TDD district. With a 3% tax rate, because most of the property will likely be commercial, and a 3% property value growth rate, the increment the RDA will get would grow from 0 in year 1 to up to $11.4 million during year 30. Over the course of the 30 years, the estimated revenue going to the RDA to fund property development and not fund local schools and other critical services would be approximately $148 million. The RDA will be taking our property tax increments for 30 years. This will have an impact on critical public services such as schools, police, fire. It will eliminate some property tax relief. It will take money from other economic development programs, and it will also take money from other critical city and town services. If HB 1144 passes as currently written, this will mean a major loss of local funding control. The RDA will receive local funds for 30 years until 2047. The RDA will hold the purse strings of that money, which will give them the power to do what they want. The RDA is not an elected body. 7 members are appointed, 2 by the governor, 1 by Gary, 1 by East Chicago, 1 by Hammond, 1 by Lake County, and 1 by Porter County. Once the bonds for these projects are issued, we are on the hook. The bill cannot be amended in a way that impacts bondholders. The RDA will keep excess funds collected. They do not revert back to local control. This sets a dangerous precedent, as it could be expanded statewide. Another major concern of HB 1144 are transparency issues. The current bill is not subject to typical TIF rules, which promote accountability and transparency, such as members may not have monetary interest in project contracts, employment, purchase, or sales made. Redevelopment projects must provide economic and public benefit and cannot be accomplished through private enterprise. Redevelopment areas must be declared a menace to social and economic interests of the units and its inhabitants. Open hearings are required prior to the approval of specific projects. The use of independent appraisers are required to determine acquisition prices. The conflict of interest potential is real. The way the current bill is set up, you could have a situation or an RDA board member, organization or privately owns lots of land around a potential train station. This conflict of interest should be obvious. If you share our concerns about HB 1144, if you care about the loss of funding for critical public services like schools and police, if you care about the loss of local control of your money, if you care about the transparency issues and the conflict of interest the bill can create, please join us in expressing your concern to your representatives.